We've been showing you those images of partiers on spring break down in Florida, ignoring the warnings to socially distance from one another.
Yeah, there's at least 20 people in that picture, but now it seems the party may be over as bars and restaurants are closed and some cities have decided to close their beaches. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis joins us right now from Tallahassee. Governor, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, those images are disturbing because the CDC says no groups of more than 10, and then you see that stuff. And so I understand Clearwater Beach and Naples have decided to close their beaches to groups. But at the same time, you're not closing the state beaches to groups of less than 10, right?
So the message, I think, for spring breakers is that the party's over in Florida. You're not going to be able to congregate on any beach in the state. Many of the hot spots that people like to go to, whether it's Miami Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Clearwater Beach, are closed entirely for the time being. The bars are closed, so you're not going to have a place to congregate there. So we would just tell those folks, maybe come back next year when things are better. But that is not what we're looking for here in the state of Florida. Every single beach will have to abide by the CDC guidelines. No more than 10 people. You have to be socially distant. Not every beach is going to remain open, but some will. We have sheriff's deputies in places like Brevard County. They're going to be out on ATVs, making sure there's no groups. And I think that's a good approach. I would point out, though, guys, the images from Clearwater was from the Saturday. At that point, the CDC guidance was groups of 250 or more. Then on Sunday, they changed it to 50. And so we were working with locals to try to figure out, OK, what would make sense for us on a whole variety of things. And then the next day on Monday, they changed it to the 10. And so that's at that point, we're like, OK, well, we just need to steer clear of any large groups. So we did it for the beaches, and then we did it for the bars and closed the bars down. So and I also would say this. We're seeing massive cancellations going forward. I think some of those pictures were for people who had started coming down here before this got to the level that it did. And so I think a lot of this stuff, you're going to see a lot fewer people coming into Florida right now. The numbers are really off the charts in terms of the cancellations.
Governor, I'm so glad you came on to explain that, because I was going to ask you, what do you say to the critics that say this should have been done a lot sooner? But Saturday was a totally different story than it is here Thursday. Many of us were planning different events at the beginning of the week, and all of those were canceled. What do you say? I was reading a story that Clearwater's not closing its beaches, though, until Monday.
Right. Well, so they got to make the decisions as how they see it. But regardless of those local decisions, you're not going to be able to congregate like those images that you saw. That's just not something that we're going to allow. And so, we want to work constructively with the locals to get the best solutions. But I would also say, when you have these types of cancellations, that's going to have a major effect on a lot of workers in the state of Florida. Our unemployment rate prior to this got down to 2.8%. I mean, our economy was humming, things were going along great. And now this external event, this virus, is going to dislocate a lot of people. And so, we're very mindful of that, and we're working hard to be able to work with them, just as we work to be able to protect our citizens from the virus.
Sure. Governor, when you talk to the president and the White House team, what do you tell them your main concern is?
For us, it's just supplies. I mean, we've ramped up testing, but I need more swabs. I need more of the reagents. If we have that, we could dramatically expand the testing. And I think that will really help us, because part of the problem with some of the stuff that we've been doing, and I don't quarrel with it, but it's not really based on data in our country. It's more based on modeling. When you get the more tests in there, like South Korea did, you're able to isolate those cases, figure out where the problems are, and then have a nice targeted solution to it. So that is really the number one thing. The PPE, the swabs, the different things that go into testing these things, the more we can get of those, we really can get into a good groove here. And I think we'll be able to help a lot of people and prevent this virus from spreading to the extent it has.
All right. You have a lot of snowbirds that live there that I guess are going to stay there in Florida and not come back up here to New York. But a lot of our friends canceled their trips to the Bahamas or or to Europe or whatever. And they all ended up in Florida. So I hope they didn't carry it down there. God bless you. Thank you so much, Governor.
Well, people are being
Yeah.
they're being very mindful. A lot of folks are really taking this seriously, and we thank them, particularly our senior citizens.
Yeah.
It's all about personal responsibility. Sir, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Good luck.